welcome to the second episode of Kneehill Scoop, Kneehill County's official podcast. My name is Christine. I am your host today. And before we begin, I have a couple of confessions to make. So I know that I promised you we would be chatting with finance during this podcast, but unfortunately, I kind of scheduled them where they are at, when is finance never busy, but at this point in time, they're just getting ready for their annual audit. So this is not an ideal time for them. So that's my bad. Instead, we have some very special guests today, but I'll kind of keep that a little bit of a surprise coming up later. My second confession is, as I was preparing for today's podcast, I was going through my emails and I realized I hadn't received any frequently asked questions from you, from the public. And then it occurred to me that I failed to let anybody know that this was an option. So if you have any burning Kneehill County questions, there is a form on our website. It's under Council, which is the very far left tab. Head down to the Kneehill Scoop podcast page, and there's a form there where you could submit any Kneehill County question you might have. For instance, when's the best time to schedule finance for a podcast? Or, how do I register to vote? Like that kind of stuff. And then we will get you the answers from the experts, of which I am not one. But we will find you those answers. And please, if you do find out when finance is available, let me know. Anyway, 2025 is a municipal election year. If you want to vote in the election, you must be on the Permanent Electors Registry. To register or to check your registration status, you can visit the VoterLink website, www.voterlink.ab.ca. Kneehill County receives our list of eligible voters from this VoterLink site. So if you could just please head over there, confirm your information, make sure it's correct, and make sure that you are ready to vote. And the deadline for registering through VoterLink is September 15th, 2025. Now, this isn't like if you miss the deadline, if you don't make it over to VoterLink in time, that doesn't mean you can't vote. You can register at your voting station on Election Day, which is October 20th, 2025. The only thing pre-registering does is it makes the process faster, and it makes it, you're already pre-registered, you're in, you're good to go, you're ready to vote. So we really just encourage you to register prior to the election. So I hope you are all enjoying the warmer weather out there. It is so nice to have a bit of a reprieve from the blistering cold of February. And you know what this weather has me excited for is camping, because camping season is a-coming. And you know how I know that's true is our campground reservations are open. They opened on Tuesday of this week. And so those are done online through Let's Camp. Again, if you visit our website, there's links to everything you need there. But we are taking bookings now for Keevers Lake, Swalwell Dam, Brackeneer Dam, and the Torrington Campground. Go online, go get your perfect spot, especially Keevers Lake. I mean, all of our campsites are really nice, but Keevers Lake is just like a beautiful, peaceful, nice, relaxing place to spend the weekend with your family, get away from it all. So make sure you go online and book that before all the spots are gone. So speaking of camping, have you ever been camping and you wonder, hey, is there a fire ban on? Are we allowed to have a fire right now? I know that comes up a lot during the summer, especially when we've been having the drier weather. Did you know that Kneehill County has a notification system called Notify Me? So you can sign up to be notified when the fire ban status changes in the county. So when it's put on, when it's taken off, if there's a restriction in place, anything like that, you can sign up to receive notifications through email or text, and then you can be in the know. But that's not all you can be notified about. We also have notifications for transfer sites. So if you're like my father and you're planning your weekly dump trip on a Saturday, you can get notified if, say, hey, the rubble pit is full because of a fire ban. Don't bring your rubble. Or, the snow is melting and there's some wet conditions at the Torrington transfer site. You can be notified of that. Most importantly, we have Notify Me for our water systems. So that's for all of our water systems in Kneehill County. This actually came in handy just yesterday. Our utility crews were investigating a low pressure issue in the Granger system. So we were able to send notifications to the users on the Granger system, just letting them know, there's low pressure in the area, but our utility crews are out there, they're investigating, they're going to get to the bottom of it, and, please be patient, but we're fixing it. So this is a very easy way, very simple to sign up, and it's just another tool so you kind of know what's going on, and then we can alert you if there's anything important that you need to know. So again, just head to our website. It's on the home page. You can go to Notify Me. The water notices are all at the top of the page. And if you scroll down, there you'll find the fire bans. There you'll find the transfer sites. There's all kinds of things that you can sign up for, but those three are probably our biggest. So, speaking of fire bans, did you know that Kneehill County has 16 highway signs that all have a fire ban sign on them? Whenever a fire ban is implemented, all of these signs have to be manually flipped. So, it's a bit of a team effort. A lot of the times, if our road guys are out and about, they will kind of lend a hand. But otherwise, I am sitting with two of the people that are kind of responsible for that. Our most excellent peace officers. We have Officer Amber Hay and Officer Matt Curran. So thank you for joining me today.
You're very welcome. I waved when I went to introduce myself. So hello, my name is Amber because you can't see me.
Thank you for having us in today.
Thank you for coming. So yesterday when I was driving home, I happened to see a peace officer had pulled someone over on the side of the road. And whenever I see that, I kind of panic because I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. And I know like the rules have kind of changed for that. So what are people supposed to do when they see someone pulled over on the side of the road?
So the legislated requirement is that if there is a vehicle pulled over on the side of the road with flashing lights, you are to slow down to 60 kilometers an hour while you are passing that vehicle.
And so does it matter, like, because they were heading east into town and I was in the west lane. Does that change things?
As long as it's the 2-lane where you have two directions of traffic, then both are 60. It's only when it becomes like a double highway.
Like Highway 2?
Yeah, like Highway 2. If it's in the southbound lane, in the northbound lanes, you don't have to slow down.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, if you're in any way adjacent to the lane that the traffic stop's occurring in and you're going by it, if you're next to it, you need to do 60. But generally when vehicles are pulled over on the shoulder, they're actually still partially on that right-hand lane. So just a good rule of thumb is can never go wrong doing 60.
Right.
As opposed to worrying about
It helps when you slow down because you can really see who it is that's being pulled over.
Absolutely. And we're all curious. And if you're going to be looking, it is better to be looking while going slowly so everyone is safe.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So on that topic, can you tell me kind of what a typical day in the life of a Kneehill County peace officer entails?
Well, we come in the morning and usually for me, I got to check voicemails and emails to make sure there's nothing from the night before that got missed. And then we have to pre-trip our vehicles and in the winter warm them up because it's cold outside and test our radar equipment and such. And then usually we do our best to get out and about as early as possible and do some patrols around the county. And that can be a variety of places. It can be our highways, our hamlets, our range roads. Often it's good to get into the school zones in the morning. So we do focus on patrols. Then also throughout the day, we'll get, requests from the public that come in and we try to respond to those as quickly as possible. Or we'll be booked in at public events, those sorts of things. So the day usually flies by pretty quick between the patrolling and the other activities. And then end of the day, reports and off to home. Do you have anything to add?
Oh, man. So my day starts with coming into the office and getting snacks so that I'm extra happy. And then, you do your pre-trip, you do your tuning fork tests, you get out on the road, you do patrols.
Sorry, can I stop you 1 second? What's a tuning fork test?
So the tuning fork test is how we actually test our radars, which is the legislated requirement and what we have to prove when we go to court that we have done in order for our tickets to be able to stand.
Okay, so the radar that measures how fast people are going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Please continue.
No, it's all good. And then, we get out and do patrols. And during patrols, we can do targeted patrols where we've had members of the public call in and request us to do specific things. And if not, then we're just kind of out there just looking for general safety things. So like Matt said, people speeding in school zones, people speeding in general on the roads, people not following the road rules. And just kind of being out there and being present. And then there's a ton of paperwork and then just other not usual things, I guess, that we will do, like the community events or school presentations.
Enough to keep you busy, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And every day is very different.
Yeah. So on that note, I think there's a lot of confusion out there sometimes, community peace officers versus RCMP. So can you kind of go over a little bit of your different roles and how that kind of works?
Yeah. So with your community peace officers, each municipality that has community peace officers applies to the Solicitor General of Alberta to get specific appointments that their peace officers can enforce. And those appointments are generally acts within Alberta, but they can extend to some criminal code stuff like Section 494, which is then like federal. And then we also do municipal bylaw stuff, whereas RCMP have full federal and the full criminal code, and then also the provincial legislation and the municipal legislation.
I think the way I understand it easiest is if it's something you have to call 911 over, it's likely a police matter. But yeah, just simply stated, the main difference is that the police are involved in criminal code matters, so assault, drugs, more serious crimes, right? Whereas we enforce certain provincial statutes and then the county's bylaws.
So what would you say is the most frequent call that you get as a peace officer?
People are driving too fast on my road.
Yeah.
Probably 8 out of 10.
Like gravel roads, highways?
Both.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when it's a certain time of year and there's more industrial traffic out and about, we'll get calls related to that, whether there's rig traffic or ag traffic or whatnot, just due to the increased volume, and people get concerned about speeds. And then the other big chunk is just bylaw calls in general. So the more prevalent ones are concern about animals or the state of other people's property and what it looks like.
Gotcha.
I was going to mention the animals because I don't think lots of people understand how everything works with animals. We don't actually, as the Kneehill peace officers, deal with the animals directly. We actually contract.
Right.
So if there is an animal call with like an animal being loose, that animal needs to be in some sort of care and control of the caller before you call us so that we can direct the contract company to the proper place to pick up that animal.
Got you. And then on that note, it definitely helps for residents to get a pet license, right? Like even if you're living rurally, for hamlets, I think you have to have one, don't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all.
Okay.
It's also free. Most municipalities charge for it. The reason we keep it free is it's actually a big benefit to us to be able to reunite animals with owners. It makes it a much more expedient process rather than posting out on social media or hoping we find the owner. And so, yeah, we definitely do encourage people to register their pets as much as possible. The county sees it as a service. Again, we're not charging. It's just a nice way if your pet does get lost. It does make it easier for another member of the public or for us to reunite your loved one with you. So please register your pet.
You can kind of tell, especially this time of year, when you guys are out and about during your rural patrols, because I notice when you come back to the parking lot, just mud all up the sides of your cars. So as someone who lives rurally, it is very comforting to know that Kneehill County peace officers are patrolling the gravel roads.
Yeah, we definitely try, and so much of the county is gravel that it is inevitable we are going to be seen on the gravel for sure. And especially now that we have 3 peace officers who are fully appointed and available, we have way more presence than we have in the last year, and it really hopefully is being able to be seen on the gravel and the pavement and just everywhere within the county.
Yeah, it's good to have that presence out there for sure. So you guys also do like some contract work for the villages within Kneehill County, right?
Yeah, no, we do some contract work for the villages and towns when requested. Our primary spot of focus in our employer is the county, but we're always happy to help our neighbors and kind of be collaborative in that way. But I want to let the public know, if you do live in one of the towns or villages that we service, if you do have a complaint or concern, please contact your village office directly. Then they forward it along to us. As the contractor, as the contract states, they have to be the one to deploy us. And so it just makes the process a lot smoother rather than us being contacted by the public first, and then we have to direct you back to the village or town office, because that's kind of how it works. And then inevitably they'll forward it along to us, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, if you live within one of the towns or villages in the county and you do have a matter you want to contact the peace officers for, you will contact your town or village directly, who will then direct that concern to the peace officers instead of calling the peace officers directly.
So which villages is that?
We have guaranteed hours with Acme and Three Hills, but with the others, Trochu, Linden, Carbon, it's kind of on an as-need basis. So it's kind of sporadic and here and there, a little busier in the spring, just due to the snow melting. And
kind of speaking of spring and the melt, road band season is coming. Could you tell me a little bit about road bands? I know we put them on in March, but what that entails and what people should kind of pay attention to.
Yeah, so road bans are put into place to protect the infrastructure and to protect the roads that the county is paying for to maintain to our high standards we have within the county. We put road bans in place during the spring thaw just to protect the integrity of the roads with all of the heavy hauls that can be happening. During road ban season, you may only drive commercial vehicles on a road ban road if you are complying within the allotted requirements that are posted on the road. And if you are going to be going above that, you need to contact the county and get a permit that states that you are allowed to not follow the posted road ban.
Right, because we have the exemption form. And I think that's on our website as well. And when the road bans do come out, that again is in March, you will be able to find them on the road ban page of the website and in the Three Hills Capital as well.
As far as I understand, the exemptions are largely in place because a lot of our agriculture producers, their yards are located on a banned road. And so that would make it very difficult for them to get around and get out of their yards. So we,
Right.
we do want to protect the infrastructure, road building, and that is very expensive. But understanding we need to work with our agriculture community in a realistic way as well.
Yes, I bet they appreciate that.
Well,
And with spring coming, this is always like kind of a hot topic. We often will see a lot of farm equipment on our roads as well. So what's some things that residents should keep in mind? I mean, spring, fall, you see tractors on the roads all the time, but especially seeding.
My advice, and I try to follow this myself when I'm driving on the back roads in the county, especially in the spring, is as you approach like even the slightest bit of a hill, stay to the right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be surprised coming over it and there's something there. And then I try to drive a little slower as well. I drop my speed by about 10 kilometers an hour, just anticipating the increase in traffic we're going to have out there. And that helps as well. And just kind of trying to be patient and understanding that this is that time of year. This is very important for the producers that this all gets done. And if we're all, reasonable and safe, then everyone goes home at the end of the day. And that's what we're all here for.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and most farm equipment can't go any faster than 40 kilometers an hour. So just try and keep that in mind when you're driving on the roads. And if you see that tractor up ahead of you, it is likely going very much slower than you are, and you are going to reach it way faster than you expect. So start slowing down before you think you have to, because you're going to hit it quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. And for like the farm equipment on the roads, what's something that they are required to have?
So any vehicle on a highway that is traveling under 40 kilometers an hour needs the orange triangle that says it's allowed to move slowly and just warning all of the people behind it.
And there's certain limits as well as to like
Length restrictions, width restrictions, height restrictions, restrictions for hauling bales. And of course, all of that legislation is unfortunately always changing.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, I have been working on a handout to give to people that will be available on the website, which is the farm exemption cheat sheet, which gives when you're allowed to haul bales without your proper load securement, so without tie downs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because there's just been so much that's changed recently. Another example is when you're hauling hay now, within 50 kilometers of your residence or where that hay was picked up, you don't need to have it tied down with tie straps with a rated weight. But as long as there is some kind of railing and some kind of containment system, but it's a lower requirement than it was in previous years. And yeah, all of that will be on the website.
Also, I would like to add that if anyone's unsure of any of the regulations at all, and they have a very specific situation, please give us a call. Like, even if we're not sure, we'll look it up and happily call you back. We really do appreciate when people call ahead of time. You don't even need to give your name if you're concerned. It's all good there. It's just a lot nicer to kind of sometimes answer those questions before rather than at the side of the road and to clarify
Right.
some of those matters. So yeah, please call. We're always happy to help.
And that's just the office number, right? 403-443-5541.
Yeah, and that'll likely get put through to a mailbox, but all the peace officers are attached to that mailbox, and we see it pretty quickly, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
That's fantastic, because I know it's probably very difficult to keep up with everything always changing.
I think that's probably the biggest part of our job when we're not on the roads is just trying to keep up with all of the different changing legislation.
Right. It's a full-time job on its own.
It really is.
So yeah, look to the website, and social media will probably post it on there as well once that cheat sheet is ready to go, probably pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying a couple of things with the weight permits. And once I have that clarification from road data, it will be out and available to everyone.
Fantastic. So is there anything else that we haven't kind of covered that you guys want to make sure our residents know about peace officers, safety in general?
I was just thinking the traffic safety calendar the province puts out every year is changing coming into March here, and it's seatbelt month.
Oh,
So in particular, we'll be watching for that in and around. And I do know that oftentimes on the back roads, it's kind of going short place to short place. But most accidents occur very close to home. So please, for the benefit of you and your family, buckle up. It certainly makes a difference as far as outcomes go. So
yeah, definitely.
please keep that one in mind this month, and we certainly will be.
Yeah. Ooh, is that a threat?
No, it's just it's something we're going to be
Yeah.
kind of putting an emphasis on this month and watching for. So
That's awesome. That's good to know. So as we kind of are wrapping this up, can you share with me maybe one of your wildest stories, or you cannot?
I can share with you the coolest piece of equipment that I have on my belt.
What
I think that'll
is-
be much more interesting, honestly.
I would love to hear this. What is it?
My candy pouch.
You have a candy pouch.
I have a pouch specifically for candy that I have on my belt that is fully stocked. Most of the children know this, but now all the adults do too.
What kind of candy's in there?
It's generally, honestly, like a Jolly Ranchers or something that's like a wrapped candy because you never really know what might happen. I might be in the rain and I don't want it to get soggy,
Well, yeah,
but I may have a sweet treat if you're craving some sugar.
it's part of your PPE.
Absolutely. It's my community service. Everyone gets to have a treat.
That's fantastic. And on that note, can you tell me then what is the best part of your job? What do you like the most about being a peace officer in Kneehill County?
Oh man, for myself, it's definitely the community engagements, like the community nights and all of the school programming. We're trying to ramp that up, and that is just so much fun to just watch all the little kids just get so excited and give you all of their statements because they never ask questions. It's supposed to be a question, and instead they're just telling you a story, and you must listen. And it's just so amazing to watch. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
favorite part for me, probably just the great satisfaction you get out of being able to provide like a good level of customer service and taking that time. We're afforded that. And the fact that council really backs us with that, the ability to do that, and gives us the right tools and the organizational support to have that time out there with the community and to, again, just try to provide that high level of service to the residents of the county. They certainly deserve it.
And you guys do a great job. And I know that it's always kind of been more education focused, right? Like we just want to educate the public on safety more than anything.
That's definitely part of the reason why I'm with Kneehill is just that they are way more focused and they're okay with me educating rather than just doing strict enforcement, which is super great. And just I want to make sure everyone feels super comfortable. If you guys ever have any kind of questions, please feel free to call us. We will answer. All of our peace officers, myself, Matt, and our newest officer, Ming, we all just really do want to help everyone. So if you have any kind of comment, question, concern, please, please, please give us a call and we will try and help you out the best we can always.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I think that's a pretty good place to wrap it up. And I want to thank you all for listening to the Kneehill Scoop. Stay tuned for the next episode. In Amber's own words, it's going to be great. We'll talk to you then.